Welcome back to another video. My name is Stephen Foster. Today we're talking about the death of the iPhone mini. Pour one out for the mini. And today specifically, I want to talk about smaller phones, or just phones that work better in the hand. If you're a smaller person, you guys all know, if you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, I'm 5'8". My wife's even shorter than I am. We're not particularly tall people. Having a phone that is like one-handable for a smaller person is a desirable thing. So in this video, I wanted to talk about what made the iPhone mini awesome, other sort of small phones that are out there, and like the form factor, like a way to think about phone form factor if you're someone who's like, yeah, I wish I could get a smaller phone. These are gonna be some insights that I'm sharing with you from now 15 years of having iPhones and different Android phones, where I land on this small smartphone debate. And then I'll kind of land on like what the landscape looks like for small phones, both like on the Android side of things and on the iPhone side of things. I want to pull up on the screen here the iPhone 13 mini specs, or like the stats around the size of this, because the iPhone 13 mini for me was like one of these like incredible devices, like once in a generation devices. 131.5 millimeters tall by 64 millimeters wide and 7.65 millimeters deep. That's actually a really thin phone. Obviously it's small both in its height and its width, but it's remarkably thin as well. And now with the iPhone mini no longer in Apple's lineup, I think I've seen a lot of people talk about the Asus Zenfone 10 as a potential like great flagship sort of mini-esque phone, but I was actually surprised when I finally got my hands on it. It's nowhere near what the iPhone mini was. It's actually closer to probably what my favorite phone has been in the last maybe decade of iPhones, which is the iPhone 10. I still have my iPhone 10. Ugh, I wish I could upgrade the guts, the camera, everything, just have it all in this compact package here. So here's what I did. I wanted to compare the Asus Zenfone 10 to the iPhone 10, because these are actually far more similar devices than the Zenfone 10 is to say something like the iPhone mini. The Zenfone 10 is 146 millimeters tall by 68 millimeters wide and about 9.4 millimeters deep. That's interesting. I'm trying to describe this in ways that like are relational, because obviously I can't just like hand a phone through the camera to you. The iPhone 10 is 174 grams and 143 and like a half basically millimeters tall. So very close to the Zenfone 10, just shy of 71 millimeters wide and 7.7 millimeters deep or thick. The first thing I noted when I held the Zenfone 10 next to something like the iPhone 10 was how roughly similar they were as far as their height and their width. Yes, the Zenfone 10 is like just a little less wide than the iPhone 10, but it's significantly deeper. When you think about that depth, it's like almost 20-25% deeper than the iPhone 10, which does kind of change a bit for that form factor and how it fits in the hand, fits in the pocket. And that surprised me, because I thought, okay, maybe I'll go with the Zenfone 10 this year for my Android phone of choice, because it's going to be this small phone, right? And that turned out to not be the case. I'm going to probably end up staying on the Pixel line. So if you do have any questions about the Pixel, leave it down in the comments below. I do plan on doing a full review of that phone and its camera system. And without diving into all the features that you could get on a phone and trying to find feature parity across phones, I think I found that form factor is actually one of the leading things in a phone that I care about. Like I will not have a phone that's like 6.8 to, I'm not carrying around a tablet. Even a 6.1 inch phone like the iPhone 15 Pro, like really at the top end of what I'm willing to tolerate, and not necessarily even a form factor that I enjoy. So if you're someone who's enjoyed the iPhone for any amount of time that the iPhone's been out now over the last 15, 16 years, this leaves you in a tough place, because the smallest phone that you can get a hold of, at least new, is going to be something like the iPhone 15 Pro or the iPhone 15. There's a 6.1 inch screen. The iPhone 15 Pro clocks in at 187 grams, 146 and a half roughly millimeters tall by 70 and a half millimeters wide and 8.25 millimeters thick, which isn't too bad. I don't mind it being a little bit thicker than the iPhone 10, pushing up towards that like 10 millimeter thickness. So where things start to kind of, I don't know, in the pocket, it doesn't feel as good. Sometimes in the hand, it's all right. And if we want to go back, and I'm just going to do this for fun, for those of you who've been around for a while, the original iPhone was actually 11 millimeters thick. It was 61 millimeters wide, 115 millimeters tall, and 135 grams. So again, the iPhone 13 mini was actually really close in height and width, much thinner though than the original iPhone, almost like a third of the thickness shaved off there. The iPhone 13 mini and previous iPhones, I really do like how they sit in the pocket just because they are thinner. But the new lineup of iPhones, at least for smaller people like myself, and if you're watching this video, maybe you're in that category, they're just harder to hold in the hand. I constantly find my palm coming over the top of the phone and like making presses or locking up the screen, and it's just not a good experience, you know? So I really would love that like return to like a 5.8 inch display. I think that would be a little bit better. Obviously, it'd be great if they revived the mini. But what I wanna know is I wanna hear your thoughts. Is there a small phone out there today, Android? It doesn't seem like there's anything in iOS, but is there an Android phone that is smaller, actually smaller, something smaller than the Asus Zenfone 10 that is a desirable and enjoyable phone for you? Leave it down in the comments below. If you're gonna still be rocking an iPhone 13 mini or an iPhone 12 mini, let us know. Let us know how long you plan on trying to like get that thing to live, like as long as possible. I mean, that's what my wife is trying to do at this point. I'm curious, for your next phone purchase, are you looking to sacrifice on weight, width, or height? Which one is like the one that you're like, I can move a little bit on the width, I can move a little bit on that depth or height, if you do have to buy a bigger phone than you desire? Leave all that down in the comments below. With that, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's subscribed to this channel. So stoked, so honored by all you. Be kind both in life and in the comments below, and like this video to send good vibes across the internet. We will do it again soon. Later. Can we dual wield outro? I'm gonna give Kirk one more. Can we dual wield outro? Oh no, I hit the mic. Oh no.